Hi, and welcome to my director's commentary on some of the five footages that I am proud of and that I'm not so proud of. I'll be discussing my pros and my cons. I'm the co director and producer of Sydney. My name is Hannnah Tolera, and here I go. So, the first footage that is up on the screen right now is a footage that I was very proud of. We did film this in low key lighting, and the lighting for me was perfect. This is exactly kind of the lighting that I wanted to go for because, as I've said before, my film was heavily inspired by Insidious, and the opening title sequence of Insidious was a very, very low key lighting. And that's the kind of theme that I was trying to go for. However, on the screen, it did look perfect and it did look fine on the camera screen. But when I brought it to my Mac computer at home and at school, at first at school, when I brought it home, it just didn't work out for me. It just wasn't going the way I wanted it to go. The light, it just looked like nothing was happening. It just looked completely black. I had to turn up the key lighting here on my screen for me to see what was going on, because to me this is how it looked. It looked like this and I couldn't see anything. But once I had turned up the lighting, it did work out. But apart from that, it was good. However, the cons were for this footage was that, as I'm going to show you in the other footage that's coming up next, is that I did film everything in this lighting when I went to Olivia's house, which is one of the actors. She's also a co and director and a producer. When we wanted to film this, one of the footages they weren't in the correct lighting, so we couldn't film it how we wanted it. It didn't go the way we wanted it to go. So what we did was we filmed some other footages in high key lighting, and when we tried to contrast the two, it just wasn't working out. The two could not go from low key to high key lighting, and it just did not. It did not go together. So I'm about to show you this footage now. Go. I did enjoy the angle that I was getting it from, and I did think that it was a worm shot. However, it just didn't, it wasn't going for me because of those reasons. Now, my next footage that I wanted to talk about was this one. Now, as I said before, the lighting was not working, and the because the lighting was also low, this is all I could see on my screen. Now, when I turned up the lighting, it still wasn't visible enough because these images portray a lot about my character. They portray her obsession and her lust for this woman, and it just wasn't working out. I really wanted the images to show vividly, but in low key lighting, and that just wasn't working out for me. And so the lighting was too low, and the lighting looked fine on the camera, but when I imported it on my Mac and on my Macs in school, it just wasn't working out for me, and I'll show you now. As you can see here, I'm trying to see all the images, but it's just not enough. It's not vivid enough for the audience, and it just looks like pictures. And these shots are particular shots and certain shots that I've purposely chosen to portray in the movie, but you just can't see enough of it. My third footage were the light. This is when I filmed my footage on high key lighting. This lighting was perfect. I really did enjoy this lighting. It completely changed the atmosphere. Even though in horror films you were expecting low key lighting and you're expecting all the conventions such as low key lighting and it helped me. It helped me challenge those conventions. These are some of the ways that I've decided to challenge them, because I wanted to see how it would look if I had a high key light in shots, other shots as well. But if I this is one of them, and if I challenged that convention and how it would look, and it actually worked pretty well. And this shot, I'm so proud of this shot. This shot, it's a shot of, you can see here that you're seeing it from another screen. So this is her screen, this is her phone, and it's like the audience get to see it from her perspective, because that phone is her life, and that's how she communicates with her lover, and that's how she communicates, and it's kind of like it's a contrast, because the images of her pictures of the drawings, her drawings, you can see it through her phone, but you can also see her through the phone. So it allows you to see her, how she looks at the woman through her perspective, through her eyes, and that's the only way she communicates with the woman. So it just contrasts it very well, and I'm really proud of this shot. This shot just, it excites me a lot. Um, yeah, so it just allows the audience to see from her perspective, and yeah, okay, I'll show it to you now. This is like a tracking shot of the camera just going around, and then she slowly picks up the phone, because it's her possession, it's what she holds. And yeah, I really like this shot. My fourth, I believe, yes, my fourth footage is, the lighting has changed. This is one of, you get to see this now, the drawings, her drawings in a close-up, and this is like it pushes out, it pushes out, and then it pushes back in. I love this shot, I really do. I had to change the lighting, as I explained before, and this truly allows you to see her shot in her, the drawings properly. You get to see it detailed, and it really does show her obsession, because these are close-up images, drawings, sorry. These are close-up drawings, and it's just every detail and everything about her. This is how I've decided to introduce the second character. You don't actually see her as a person in my title sequence, but you see her as in the drawings, and it's just, you see her how the girl sees her. And yeah, so I'll play it right now. I love this, like this shot is like, it's like very, very detailed. It's a really detailed drawing. See, it pushes out and then it goes back in, and it allows you to see, like just the small little details, like her eye, and it's a direct address. It's almost like a direct address. It's like how she's always imagined and always wanted the girl to see her or look at her, and it just lets the audience just really know how strong and how passionate this woman is about this lady. And yeah. Now my final footage is this one. This, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to end on a bad note, because this footage, it wasn't the best. There was some faulties. The faulties were that there was talking in the background, and I hadn't realized how much difficulty this would have brought me in when I had to edit. I didn't really think anything of it. I'll show you the footage now and then I'll talk more.
Spit it out then. Okay.
As you can see, the acting isn't very good, because she looks at the camera somewhere here. There. If you just saw that, she looked at the camera. Don't know if I can get it. Yeah. She looks at the camera here, so that's another faulty, which was the acting, and also the talking in the background. I have a passion for Foley, and I really wanted the Foley to work out. Now, I really wanted you to hear the brushing. I want it to sound as natural as possible, so I didn't want to add in any sound effects. But I hadn't realised that my talking in the background would have affected that, and I didn't realise that until I started editing. So what I had to do was I went through so much trouble of copying sounds from other footages that I had to refilm after I figured this out. And I had to copy the sounds and paste them into the footage and it just and replacing them just so that it could sound as natural as possible because that's what I was going for. And I had to film this again. The acting was 100 times better. The everything was just really good, and eventually I did get all the sounds to sound as natural as possible, which is seen in the rest of the film. And yeah, so but anyways, I was lucky enough to go out and just do this myself and film her again. And she's also the co-producer and the director, and she'd figured out that this was going to be a problem, but we didn't really think anything of it until we actually went to school and decided to edit. However, I am very proud of the shots that myself and Olivia has gathered, and there's many more other shots, but those 5 shots were the shots that I felt like I could do a strong commentary on. And this over the shoulder shot and this mirror shot, we had to look at other movies and films or series that had used this so we can get the technique and so that you wouldn't be seeing the camera at the background. So we decided at this angle, and it looked amazing, and it did work out eventually in the other footages. So I am very proud of this, and thank you very much for listening. And that's me.